If you guys suffer with serious chronic sinus and allergy problems, then this video is for you. But first, let me give you a quick rundown of who I am and why I'm qualified to talk about these things. I've been in the heating and air conditioning industry for the last 10 years. I've done everything from installation helper to service tech to now a small business owner. You know, I run my own little small one-man shop, and I've gone and I've spent thousands of dollars and countless hours learning how to solve chronic comfort problems and measurably and predictably solve a lot of sinus and allergy and moisture problems that many people face inside of their homes. And I went down that rabbit hole for a while. I got to experiment with a lot of this stuff. I got to put a lot of these things to the test, figure out what worked, figure out what doesn't work. And today I'm hoping to share a little bit of that information with you guys. But so one of the first things that I want to show you guys is this is my home. This is active indoor air quality readings that I'm actually taking at my place, and you can kind of see what's going on here. So right up here, this is showing, active air filtration. They measure it in particulate matter at 2.5 microns. That's not going to mean a whole lot to you guys, but that measurement is reflecting a average particle size, essentially, is what it is. And we're looking for it to be low so that we're not breathing all that garbage in. Next is VOCs. This would be like all your chemical cleaners, any kind of aerosols that you guys use, any kind of off-gassing that would come from, any kind of cooking that you guys might be doing inside of the home. And then relative humidity, you want to keep that low, or at least in a healthy range as well. So now you can see here in my home, this is literally going for like the last month. We're reading from, May 24th all the way over to April 24th. And you can see that the particulate matter in my home has pretty much been zero. We get these occasional little spikes of stuff, but very, very quickly, you can tell that my system is taking care of it and it's not really a problem. It pretty much hovers at zero. And if it does spike up for a little bit, it's for a very, very short period of time until my air filtration setup that I have has had an opportunity to take it out of the airstream. Now that particulate matter, that's going to include a lot of the pollen and other things that many allergy sufferers, including myself, are sensitive to. So again, it's critically important that we keep that low. But Ben, what's an air filtration setup? Let's go downstairs. I'm going to show you guys what I got. All right, so this very large duct right here is essentially my air filtration system, right? So I think on a lot of furnaces, you guys are used to seeing these tinier little 1-inch filters, or maybe you see this guy right here, typically strapped to the furnace with your small little return ducts that go to it, right? Now, the problem with those small return ducts is that when the return duct is really small, you can picture kind of putting your thumb over the end of a garden hose, right? All of the water starts spraying out of there really, really quickly, but there's not really a whole heck of a lot moving through it. You can actually start to pinch off the flow, but it's just moving really fast. Well, when you have that small duct running over to your filter too, the same thing happens with your filter that it does on the garden hose. And when that air is moving really quickly, the dirt will actually have a tendency of pulling through the filter and it won't actually be caught. It'll act more like a sifter, if you guys can picture that in your mind, okay? So by going and making this duct really large, this is it's 16 inches by 25 inches deep in dimensions. It's like taking your thumb off at the end of the garden hose. We're slowing everything down. A lot of the dirt that should be getting caught in the filter, that would be sifting through if you had a smaller duct, is actually getting caught in there. And it also allows us to use high performance filters without causing any kind of damage to your equipment. And if you ever had an HVAC tech out to your house and he told you that you're putting in the wrong kind of filters, that, you bought one of the really high rated Allergen filters at Home Depot or something, for example, and he told you that it was too restrictive to the airflow, then you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about if you've been through that before. This setup allows you to use those without the risk of that happening. It also makes it really cheap to run the fan motor on your furnace or air handler or heat pump, whatever it is that you have. Really cheap and efficient to do, and it's going to clean up your air. But just to show you guys how effective this is real quick at slowing down the air, I'm going to put the microphone inside of the duct. So now you certainly would imagine that the air noise that you're hearing right now would probably be a lot louder, considering that my air handler is on and it's drawing about 600 feet of air per minute. And you guys can still hear me pretty well. There's not really a whole lot of wind rushing noise going on. So that just goes to show you the effectiveness of this really large piece of duct. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's how I keep all the pollen and everything out of my house, or I at least keep the levels to a minimum. And it's proven quite effective. Both me and my fiance have suffered significantly less allergy symptoms. In fact, it's become very much more noticeable when we go outside, like, you know, on the weekend, for example, if we're in the house for the majority of the day and then we go outside to spend some time with our son or something, you can definitely feel the outdoor air hit you in the face when you go out there and you've been inside of the clean indoor environment that I've made inside of my home now. But I told you guys I was going to show you a way that you can do this at home for cheap, you know, with a couple things that you can typically go and pick up at any major hardware store like Home Depot, Menards, something like that. So let me show that to you real fast here. So there's some good YouTube videos online on how to do this, so I'm not going to go too in depth with it, but I just wanted to show you guys a few things here. So as we're kind of scrolling through, I've got this one picked out right now. This is, you know, a box fan that they have on top. They went and they taped the filters. You can see here to the top of the filters to seal it up so that any air doesn't blow by it. And then you just plug this thing in your living room or like your master bedroom or something, for example, and you just let it run. And because you have 4 or 5 filters strapped to this thing, the air moves really slow through these filters and it catches a lot of the particulate matter in the air, you know, including pollen, of course, as long as you get some high performance ones. You know, if you're going to do a setup like this, if you can, I would recommend all the way up to about a MERV 13 filter. MERV 11s are okay for this as well, but with my testing, they don't do anywhere near as well as taking care of pollen and things like that as a MERV 13 does. When I switched over to a MERV 13 in mine, it yielded substantially better results. But yeah, so you got this one here too. You know, this guy did it in like a triangle shape, and then it looks like maybe just a little piece of cardboard, took some tape and sealed it off. So, you know, it required just a little bit of setup on your behalf, but it's definitely something feasible that you can do with a $40 box fan from Home Depot and you know, presumably probably about another 20-25 bucks or so in filters, and you guys can get yourselves clean air. And if you're looking for something a little bit more permanent, there's always the option of getting a hold of me or somebody else that you know, would be able to perform this work for you, whichever HVAC contractor it is that you currently use. If you just show them this video and tell them what you want, I'm sure they're probably more than capable of delivering that for you. Deliver was a bad choice of words. I actually have to go and I have to make all this sheet metal by hand. At like Home Depot or Menards, if you go shopping around in their HVAC section, you can actually see that they have a lot of prefabricated sizes for ductwork. They're not going to have anything this big. Typically the biggest sizes is like 8 by 25 inches, which is why you actually see that on most of your furnaces. If you have something like that in the basement, it's because it's prefabricated. The guys don't have to build it. It keeps costs low, and it keeps you know, time and labor costs low as well, because people are able to just slap the stuff together. It's pre-made already. Nobody has to make it by hand. We just buy it for a couple dollars from you know, places like Home Depot or Menards, and we just put it together real fast, and it makes changing out the sheet metal really quick and easy. But look, that's all I got for you guys today. I just wanted to share this with you for any other fellow allergy sufferers out there, such as myself. I know I'm really sensitive to it, and I just wanted to share with you what I've done, what I've tested, what I've literally measured the before and after results on, and what I found worked and made a huge impact on my life. And hopefully this can help some of you guys out. But with that, I wish everybody a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.